everyone, welcome back to my channel Time to Teach. I'm Stacy and I am here today with another video, and it is also going to be a short one. It is 5 things to say in the classroom. My last video was 5 things not to say in the classroom, and I will insert a card up here so you can make sure to check out that video. And let's go ahead and get started. So number 1 of 5 things to say in the classroom. So number 1, you always want to have a greeting. So I think the best way for a greeting is to greet your students at the door or greet them in a morning meeting. You can do a greeting as a in morning meeting as a whole class, or you can do both. I actually did both. I would greet students at the door, and then I also created a job where I had a student be a greeter. If I couldn't be to the door and I was, working with a student or something, I would have a student at the door to greet students. But then I would make sure that I would greet students in morning meeting. But this makes them feel so special as they walk in, and you're acknowledging that they're there. And of course you want to greet them with a smile and make them feel special, that you're happy that they're there and you're happy to be there with them. Also, with greeting, you also want to make sure you're saying goodbye to the class. So you can do this as an afternoon meeting and do a little activity where you get to say bye to each other. So you're saying bye to them, you're leaving your class on a happy note, and you always want to make sure that the students are leaving and excited about coming back the next day. So greet them and say goodbye. So that's number 1. Number 2, praise. You want to make sure that you are praising your students, and we get so busy during the day, and sometimes this can be really hard, but we want to make sure we are praising them about either behavior or their academics. We want to make sure we're saying something positive about something specific that they are doing. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are praising them. And if you're not going to praise individual students, you could praise your class all day as a whole, and that could also be based on instruction or behavior. So number 2 is praise. You want to make sure you're praising your students. Okay, number 3, when you talk about lessons, you should be excited. So when you're introducing the lessons, you should have a smile on your face, and you should show some sort of excitement about what you and your students are going to do next. Because if you don't show excitement and you're kind of like, oh, I've taught this lesson so many times, and you're thinking in your head, I got to do this again, they're going to feel that. They sense everything. So you want to just do your best to show excitement for that upcoming lesson. Okay, so that's number 3. Show excitement, about your lesson. Okay, and number 4, something that you should always say in your classroom, this is very important to me and close to my heart, is your learning targets. Your learning target should be introduced for everything that you do. Everything that you do in your classroom should be purposeful. It should have a purpose. So with your learning targets, they should be posted so you can read them together as a class. And you could also do like a song or a chant or something that goes along with your targets. Last year, I made up a chant to the song Popsicle. If you've ever watched I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Go Noodle, and I can't remember their names, but they sing that song Popsicle. So I made a song with that beat, but changed the lyrics, and we would sing it every day after we would say our learning target, and we called it Hit the Target. So we're like, hit the target, hit the target. And if you know Popsicle, you know why we were singing it that way. So you should always say your learning targets. And after the lesson is over, this is also very important, you should always go back and review that target. So you mention the target at the beginning, and then when the lesson's over, you go back and you review it and you have a short discussion. And I know that that sounds like a lot, and you're like, oh, you might be thinking, how am I going to have time for that? You have time for it. You have time for it. If your students are following expectations, they're following your rules, you have, I mean, my first graders knew, these are 5 and 6 year olds, that this is when we say the target, we do the lesson, this is when we review it. Once you're on that schedule, it will work. Okay? All right, and then number 5 is probably, did I say number 4 was my favorite? Well, number 5 is probably my favorite. Number 5, something that you always want to say to your students is that you're showing improvement. When they're showing improvement, don't say they are if they're not. You always want to be honest with your students. So when they're showing improvement, make sure you let them know. So if there's a goal that they are trying to reach, say with like Dibbles or some sort of assessment that you use within the school, and maybe you have it posted and they moved up 5 points, tell them that they are showing improvement or progress. You always want to let them know that. Don't let that go by without telling them. Show them, tell them, have them graph it. Always tell them when they show improvement that they are, so they know. So all that hard work that they are doing is beneficial and purposeful. And just, you know, continue to discuss those achievements and those goals. Of course, I'm looking at my notes. I wanted to make sure I got everything. So I told you this would be short and sweet, and I also want to say thank you because I have hit 50 subscribers. I know to some that might not be many, but I am so excited. I appreciate your support to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave your comments below, and if you are going to say these 5 things in the classroom, please give me a thumbs up and let me know what you're going to use. I would love to hear from you, and I will talk to you guys in the next video on Time to Teach. All right, thanks everybody. Bye.